To simply describe how I felt about this movie, I would say that it was beautiful. Hey guys, what's up? Cinema11 here with my review of The Last, Naruto the movie. This movie should be taking place in between chapters 699 and 700, and after watching this movie, I almost wish we could have gotten more after the final battle against Kaguya. Just a small, chilled out arc that maybe shows some clarifications on different things in the manga, and the anime actually has been expanding on the backstories for characters that really needed it towards the end of the story. And I know this is recent and everything, but I really like the recent expansions by the anime and by this movie. This review will contain spoilers, so please watch the film before this video. So, the story is basically a love story between Naruto and Hinata. In fact, most of this film is just interactions between the characters, and I really love that aspect about this movie. The other part of the story is about a guy named Toneri who wants to destroy the world that has been created on Earth due to a misunderstanding, and I guess I have to go into spoilers to explain this. The Sage of Six Paths, Hagoromo created a society on Earth while his brother Homura created a society on the moon, while also keeping watch on Kaguya, their mother. And with the information from the anime and this movie, the lore in Naruto has just been expanded so much, and I'm just really happy with the expansion of the story. I am really grateful for this movie and the anime for the explanations that they've given on these characters because it's so good, and they just did a good job where Kishimoto kind of slipped up, and I don't know if he just really wanted to end the manga or something, but he just didn't really explain these characters that much, especially Homura and Kaguya. We've been learning about the Sage of Six Paths so much throughout the series, and really the movie and the anime kind of clarify why we were learning so much about him and not them. And if they choose to continue the story of Naruto in space, I'd be okay with that too. And I'm just happy that we have an explanation for the plot elements that were left open in the manga. So, Toneri serves as Naruto's rival for love as well in this movie. He kidnaps Hinata's sister, Hinabi, and wishes to kidnap Hinata, who goes with him at some point to rescue her sister. So, before all that, a team is made to rescue Hinabi consisting of Sai, Shikamaru, Naruto, Sakura, and Hinata. And this aspect of the film was my favorite, just seeing these guys interact together. Ever since part 1 of Naruto, I wanted to see Naruto go on missions with other characters, but actually have it be canon material, because there's a lot of filler with Naruto going around with the other characters, but I actually wanted it to be by Kishimoto, and I guess this is by a writer plus Kishimoto, but again, I really enjoyed it. And the break in between chapters 699 and 700 could have really been expanded on in the manga and given a few story arcs. And if it was told like this, with different characters hanging out with Naruto, just going on missions, there would be no complaints from me because this was great. But even before all this, we just had some great moments in the village of the cast just living life and being teens. You know, they were in normal situations. Naruto has become a hero, and he's admired by the village, especially admired by the girls, and he's paying for his friends' foods. They're at Ichiraku's, and girls are taking selfies with Naruto, and he's getting all these different gifts throughout the movie. And I don't know if it's the haircut, but he looks older for some reason. He's really grown up before our eyes, and someone did help Kishimoto write this movie, so I'm wondering what exactly came from Kishimoto himself and what did the other writer do for this movie. And as I've said over and over again, I want more ideas like this in the main Naruto story. A lot has changed since the beginning of the series, and this movie just gave the village a lot more life. The characters are usually gone from the village, so we don't really see the village that often. We only see it in between arcs, or if something is happening in the village. But the way the film did it was just way better. It was just way better about like how it showed the village and everything. It felt more lifelike. It felt more like an actual village. When I'm watching Naruto, we only see like small parts. We see them walking around. We don't see them like really going to any places specifically except Ichiraku, the Hokage place or whatever, Naruto's house, and we don't really get to see the other characters' houses as much. This has us going to other houses. This has us interacting with the village, going to different places around the village. I like that a lot. And Hinata has been trying to give Naruto a scarf, or she is trying to give Naruto a scarf throughout the entire film. And at the beginning of the movie, we see a flashback of him trying to save her, and he ends up getting beat up, and the scarf that he had was being destroyed by these bullies. And we also saw a clip of the kids back in the day in class with Aruka Sensei asking, and he was asking them, if today was your last day on Earth, who would you spend it with? And Naruto can't think of anyone, of course, because he doesn't really know his parents. And Sakura picks Sasuke, of course. And Hinata picks Naruto. She's loved this guy for a really long time. And I don't know if the flashback with Naruto protecting her, I don't know if that was supposed to be like their first meeting or something. But if it was, then maybe that's the point. Or that is the point where she fell in love with him. It's kind of weird that you've been in love with someone since kids. I don't know if that's a thing. But, I don't know, it's kind of weird. So, Hinata is having trouble talking to Naruto again, and I read in a review that it seemed like Hinata's character has regressed in this movie, and I believe that's kind of true, because if you remember in the war, when she slapped Naruto, and she was confident in everything, what happened to that side of Hinata? But I also don't think, like, to counteract this argument in this review, I don't think one situation can change someone completely, so I still think the movie is fine in terms of her personality. And Sakura was actually great in this film as she tries to help Hinata out, and Naruto just can't really get any of the hints that that are being put out. And at one point, Sakura tells Naruto to walk Hinata home, and he wonders why. And I do as well, you know, like in terms of like that situation, if I didn't know that Hinata liked me, I would be like, why do you want me to walk her home? That seems kind of random. She's a ninja. She can walk home on her own. The romance at the beginning of the film felt very genuine between Hinata, well, really just Hinata towards Naruto. But as the movie went on, it started to get a little cheesy, and I'll kind of explain that later on. But after the characters begin looking for Hinabi, they eventually find a portal that takes them to the moon. And I had imagined that they were on the moon at some point in the film because things just didn't seem right because there were less people around and everything. Actually, there were no people around, so I'm like, I'm like, why are they going through like this random society and there are no people around? So I was like, oh, maybe they're on the moon. And it's like, oh, they are on the moon. Huh. I didn't think that would be right. So we started to see Naruto and Hinata getting closer, but the main thing that made Naruto like Hinata was the memories that he saw. And there's a segment in the movie where they go into this lake and they start seeing things. This is before they go into the portal. The lake is the portal pretty much. They start seeing things and it replays situations from Naruto, and Naruto gets to see them at his current age, and he realizes that Hinata did in fact fall in love with him, and he's kind of rewatching like all her memories and everything. And my problem with this is that he falls for her right after this. Why? Even if you found out someone liked you, has liked you for all these years, if you didn't have previous interest in them, why would you just fall for them immediately? He begins dreaming about her and thinking about her first before himself. And we do get some cute moments between the two, but I felt like the love lacked actual progression on his part. And I know it's a movie, but all the scenes we got with Hinata felt very, very genuine. They felt great. And I know she's liked him in Naruto and everything, but we could have gotten more progression with the love on his end. And as I said, we learned more about Toneri and that he's the only survivor of the Otsuki clan. And he's trying to use Hinabi's eyes to obtain the Tenseigan, which is a new eye, and it's an expansion of the Byakugan. And finally, the Byakugan is getting more techniques. This is great and everything, but the explanation of the Tenseigan, it was kind of weird. I didn't really understand it as well. I looked at the Wikipedia page, but I was still kind of confused. I was like, this can do similar things to the it does similar things like the Rinnegan, but it has different techniques. But again, like some of the techniques are similar, so I was like, I don't know if I like this as much, but it's still a cool idea. So the moon is also falling because there's some contraption on the moon, and basically the moon is getting closer to the Earth, and then like pieces of the moon are falling down, and basically Toneri is trying to destroy the Earth and everything. So Naruto and his friends are trying to prevent the moon from crashing into the Earth, basically. And there's a few situations going on at once that they have to handle. I didn't mind it too much. Like, there are a few things going on at once, but it wasn't like too much to like take away from the plot. Like, everything gets time, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There are fights here and there in the film, and the interactions actually take up most of the film, with the movie having quick fighting scenes pretty much. And we get to see a lot of hand-to-hand combat in this movie, and the hand-to-hand combat was fantastic. I really liked it. I've missed that in Naruto, and I'd trade the big explosions for the hand-to-hand combat any day. And seeing Naruto in action after all the new powers that he's gained during the war, it was good too. But the big fight with Naruto and Toneri at the end, which I'm sure you probably could have expected, it could have used some work. You know, it felt like just like a Naruto fight, like the standard Naruto fight, pretty much. So like if we take Kaguya, for example, as like the basis for Naruto fights in the future, it was similar to that in a way. So Naruto uses his Kurama mode, and then Toneri has something similar to that. And Naruto fights have basically turned into Dragon Ball Z. Like, they were all over the place in this fight, zooming all over the place, like just punching and kicking and everything. It was Dragon Ball Z. And Naruto's Sage of Six Paths powers aren't showing up. I don't know what's up with that. I know it was kind of explained in the spin-off manga, but that's actually after this movie, so I don't know why like he wasn't using his Sage powers. Like, he was just using his normal Kurama mode, which I know he gets it like before the war, but it's expanded on during the war. So I don't know. I can't remember like exactly, but he's basically using that power. There's no like Sage of Six Paths powers there. And at some point in the movie, the moon gets split in half, and that was a really cool moment to see. I won't be talking about everything in this review. There's a few random things that I kind of want to bring up before I end the video off, and I've kind of been doing that already, kind of like skipping all over the place with the plot and everything. But first, rest in peace, Scarf Kun. He died so many times during this movie. And I also like the fact that Naruto was wearing the scarf that his mom made for him. That's actually very sweet, but Hinata was starting to get jealous because she didn't really know who made the scarf for him and everything. And it's like, oh, it's his mom. And then he kind of stops wearing it after she brought it up, but I'm like, why? You know, Naruto, a scarf from your mom is more important than a scarf from Hinata. Who cares what Hinata thinks? At one point in the movie, Hinata's falling down a building, and I was just wondering, why didn't she put chakra in her feet and walk up the building? You're a ninja. Literally. Just put some chakra in your feet and walk up. Why? This film has a lot of flashbacks, like the actual series. The Naruto and Hinata stuff is flashback to a lot in this film. And I thought that that time the film could have been used on something else, because that flashback took up a lot of the film. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it felt like the flashback was on screen for a really long time, and it was like, you could have done other stuff. Like, I would have preferred seeing more interaction between the team, because, you know, I love that part of the movie. So, this film is very long. It's nearly 2 hours long, and it uses most of that time well, effectively, and in fact, I wish there was even more detail in this film. It expands on the lore of Naruto and gives the characters and the world more life, which is normal interactions between the characters, and it makes the manga feel more complete. They truly tried to show every character in this movie. As they moved from scene to scene, it was nice seeing some of the designs that I previously didn't enjoy for the most part, because, you know, they reveal designs before the movie actually comes out, and I saw these different designs, and I was like, what's up with all these pointless changes? But, like, no, I actually enjoyed the designs. It's just like, I need to see them in action on the film. And it's too bad that Guy is in a wheelchair. Sasuke is barely in this film. He ends up slicing a meteor in half, though, like out of nowhere. And Kakashi is Hokage during this film. And I believe I read that the meteors really serve as a way of making the whole cast involved. And I kind of agree with that. That is true, because you can have meteors falling down and you can show the other villages, pretty much. Naruto falling in love with Hinata and eventually kissing her at the end of the film felt awkward. It felt awkward and too quick. And her feelings make sense, but Naruto's feelings don't. And Sakura really helps the two get together and pushes them. And the film even covers whether or not Naruto really likes Sakura. And I like that with them just kind of like talking about it, you know. It felt like something people their age would bring up, you know. It's like, hey, you remember when you liked me in the past? And look at you now. You're worrying about this other girl and everything. But I felt like Naruto's feelings were true. I didn't really feel like it was a competition as she thought it was. I don't know. I don't know if that's the explanation they're going with for it. That's cool, but I thought he actually liked her. And I mean, like, even in the war, it still seemed like, you know, Naruto kind of liked her. And then his dad brought that up. Whatever. It felt like, or never mind, I already covered that. And Sai brings his personality to the table, as does Shikamaru in helping Naruto when he's kind of depressed during the film. And this movie has ending credits featuring the wedding of Hinata and Naruto, and that was masterfully done. I really like that. That was a really great job, and it was nice seeing all his friends being there to support him at his wedding. That was fantastic. The film truly ends with a scene of Naruto and Hinata grown up with kids, or with Naruto's kids, Boruto and Himawari, or their kids as I should say. And I have to say, I don't really like Dad Naruto. I've watched Boruto. I won't be doing a review over Boruto because I didn't really like Boruto as much. And it's like not a bad film, but I don't like Boruto as a character. I don't really like Naruto as a dad. It seems like some of the other characters are still similar, but Naruto as a dad seems weird due to like how they handled him in Boruto. But overall, I just don't really like Dad Naruto. I think that I would have enjoyed it more if the focus was on Naruto. Like, I don't think the focus needs to be pushed onto a kid or something. Naruto is the focus, and he should be the focus of the series, and that's it. If you're not going to continue Naruto with the focus being on Naruto, don't continue Naruto. I think ending the romance off in their teen years for Naruto and Hinata and leaving the rest alone would have been fine. You know, I don't really care about them as adults as much, but with the ending scene of the film, it leads right into Boruto the movie, pretty much. So, yeah. The last, Naruto the movie, it offers great interactions, great music, and great animation. It tells a nice story with a growing romance, and this movie made me want to fall in love. Like, the way it was presented has made me notice something. Love is beautiful. I love the last Naruto the movie. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you like my content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and like me on Facebook. The links are below. I'm Sermo11. See you next time, and peace out. Rest in peace, Scarf Coon.